As we usher in spring, everybody wants to know, what is the weather going to be like? So I'm breaking spring down into two halves, right? So sort of March, April, and then April to May. And it looks like the first half of spring here, so pretty much from now through to at least the middle of April, a big cool pattern or cooler than average pattern expected from the Great Lakes right out towards Newfoundland, as well as the central prairies back up to Yukon, where we may see warmer than average temperatures. This is going to really hug the U.S. Pacific Northwest as well as the lower mainland into BC and just skim the southern prairies as well. By late spring, I'm expecting this pattern to change to pretty much average and normal conditions in terms of temperatures right across the Great Lakes. So seasonal out through the east. That cool weather pattern, though, will likely hang on across the northern prairies and northern Ontario, but a lot of heat expected to maintain itself up into the BC interior and much of the U.S. West Coast. And one of the reasons why we're talking about this cool pattern here is there's kind of this like leftover lobe of the polar vortex, which is really impacting the March weather, the rest of March and even into early April. And that's going to allow a lot of cold air to spill south here across the eastern part of the country. The other thing that we are watching is what is La Nina and El Nino doing. Right now, we are looking at a rapid transition here from La Nina, which we've been in, to a very strong El Nino pattern. And this is the water that we look at here. When we are into a La Nina pattern, there's a lot of blue in this square where water temperatures are running a lot colder than average. El Nino means these waters in this region runs well above average in terms of temperature, and this is expected to strengthen into a very strong El Nino by the winter time of this year. But it still has impacts on the jet stream as we go into spring, and that jet stream pattern is going to mean likely some very wet conditions here across the Pacific Northwest coast here of British Columbia, so the extreme northwest part of the province, but very dry here across the prairies. We don't like to see this, of course, as we head into wildfire season, but likely drier than average conditions for the BC interior and for the prairies. And this is good news for the wildfire situation out across Quebec and northern Ontario, where wetter than average conditions are expected. Now, when we talk about the Great Lakes, and it is springtime, it doesn't all mean rain. We'll likely see still a lot of mixed precipitation, possibly still some flurries, freezing rain and ice pellets along with rain here, at least for the first half of spring, or at least the rest of March. And then that'll transition to rain here as we go through April and May. And one area that we're also watching for likely drier than average conditions would be western Newfoundland.